Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a very interesting spiritual practice called psychometry, which is the ability to get a psychic reading off of an object. So stay tuned. I have always been interested in the ability to read the subtle energies that surround people, places, and things. And so today's video is a topic that I've been interested in for years, and that is psychometry. According to the dictionary, psychometry is the supposed ability to discover facts about an event or person by touching inanimate objects associated with them. I find it funny that the dictionary uses the word supposed ability because that word is kind of like throwing shade on the art of psychometry. Generally assumed or believed to be the case, but not necessarily so. When the dictionary uses definitions that also cast a shadow of doubt on these things, that is literally why the energy world or the psychic world remains obscure even to this day, even though people throughout all time have been able to connect with the subtle energies that are all around them all the time. Anyway, beyond the official definition of psychometry, psychometry is a mediumistic ability that is the ability to give a psychic reading out of an inanimate object. So it's simply by holding an object in your hands, you are able to pick up on the subtle energies that are emanating from that object. I learned about psychometry during my time as a student at the School of Metaphysics. And I was a student there from 2008 until about 2012 or 2013. So I've known about psychometry for quite a while. And while I was a student there, I also learned how to practice the skill of psychometry. So in psychometry, it is not like a regular type of psychic or intuitive reading where you are reading person to person. A psychometric reading is person to object. So any object can be used for a psychometry reading, but there are some objects that would actually be better than others. So for instance, you might use a teddy bear that someone sleeps with all the time because that bear is within their auric field for long periods of time and, over a course of time as well. Another popular item to use for psychometry would be jewelry. So, for instance, my bronzite bracelets here that I wear all the time, or my wedding ring, or my earrings. Basically, anything that is in contact with your physical body and your auric field is going to hold more of your energy within its own energy field. While preparing for today's video, I even found an article on the website bostonintuitive.com that was titled Psychics Who Fight Crime. And within that article, it states that many psychic detectives use psychometry as a means to gather information on their case. Psychometry is a psychic ability that allows a person to sense or read the history of an object by touching it. Psychic detectives will ask for a personal item from the missing person and hold it, then enter a trance-like state until they begin to receive impressions. These impressions can be perceived as images and emotions, or even certain sensory output like smell, sound, or taste. The psychic may also pick up on a description of the perpetrator, a name, a motive, or other important details. I found that so interesting considering that I like to do tarot and oracle readings on true crime cases or really any mysterious deaths out there that I just feel need more information. So I found it very interesting to find that some detectives also use psychometry. While many people believe that psychic abilities or being highly intuitive is like a gift that you're born with or you're not, it is my belief that anyone can cultivate their own intuition and they can literally grow in their intuitive abilities with time and practice. It is true that some people are just naturally talented with their intuitive abilities, while others might have to work a little harder in order to gain the mastery. But I just believe that that is because some people have used many of their past lives cultivating these skills. Therefore, it's something that their soul just remembers when they get here in this lifetime. Don't get me wrong, though. I know that some people are born with like disabilities and things like that. And that is also true when it comes to psychic and intuitive abilities. Some people are simply so engrossed in the material world that they simply cannot fathom the energies, the subtle energies that are all around all the time. So I'm sure there are some people out there who simply will never even know the power that lies within them because it's almost like they're just not built that way. But in today's video, if you're still here, I believe that you have the ability to cultivate this intuitive skill within yourself. So I want to go over how you can practice psychometry and how to do a psychometry reading. In order to practice psychometry, first of all, you have to be able to still your mind. So this is generally a practice that can be done by anyone. But if your mind is kind of haywire or your thoughts are a little scattered, then it's going to be harder to identify the subtle energies that are felt, seen, heard, or whatever through the object. So kind of a prerequisite to psychometry is probably going to have to be some type of meditation practice that you do daily or a concentration practice. Basically, you have to be able to hold your focus on the object. If you don't have the ability to still your mind and hold your focus on a single point for a long period of time, then maybe psychometry is not for you quite yet. You have to first go cultivate that focus and concentration. Step 1 in practicing psychometry is to ask a friend to help you with this practice. And so you will simply ask your friend to bring an object that they possess and that is maybe something sentimental to them or something that they will have their energy imprinted on so that you can then read the significant energy that comes off of that object. Or your friend can also bring an object that belongs to someone else entirely. But if they do that, they have to be sure not to handle the object itself too much, because then your friend's energy will start to mingle with the existing energy on the object, and that will make the reading more confusing. So if they're bringing an object from another person, it is recommended that they wrap it in a cloth or put it in a paper bag or an envelope or something along those lines so they are not coming into contact with the object itself before it is presented to you. Once you've enlisted the help of a friend, then it's time to prepare yourself for the psychometry reading. So you can give your friend a sheet of paper and a pen so that they can take note of everything you say during the psychometry reading. Or in this day and age, we all have electronic devices that have the ability to do voice recordings. So that is another option as well. So get your notebooks ready or your voice recorders ready so that you don't miss anything that comes out of the reading. And of course, it's going to be important for the reader to wash your hands thoroughly, to remove any other emanations that might be coming off of the hands themselves. So thoroughly wash and dry your hands. And finally, you need to sit comfortably and relax your mind and body. And in many videos, I tell you that my technique for mental and physical relaxation is to take deep cleansing breaths in through your nose, slow and deep. Hold the breath for a few seconds and then blow it out of your mouth, slow and deep. And repeat the deep breathing a few times. And then I like to imagine a ball of light at my solar plexus, which is about 1 inch or 2 above your belly button. And just see that ball of light shining brightly inside of you. And then using your imagination, your will, and desire, just cause the light to grow and expand, filling your body with light, and then expand that light out into your aura. When you're done, just take a deep breath and open your eyes back up, and then you should feel more centered in your mind and body after doing that practice. Before you actually touch the object that you're about to do a reading on, it's important now to take a moment to take mental note of your own thoughts and feelings right now so that you can then determine if what you are sensing during the psychometry reading is from you or from the object that you're reading. So if you're feeling warm, cold, if you're feeling a little nervous, just make mental note of how you're feeling. And then it is time to open up your centers, your chakra centers, to be receptive to the energy you're about to be holding in your hands. So one way that I like to describe this is kind of like seeing energy moving up your spine and through your chakras. So starting at the base chakra, in your mind's eye, you can raise this clear energy, or maybe it's like a smoke-like substance for some. It can be depicted however you want within your own thinking. But for me, it's like a clear energy, like a fluid that rises up from my base chakra through all of my chakras. So basically, I'm sitting there comfortably. I've already taken mental note of my own thoughts and feelings. And now, in my mind's eye, I see that energy rising from the base of my spine up through my root chakra and my sacral chakra, past my solar plexus chakra, all the way up to my heart chakra. All right? So just see that energy moving up through the chakras until it reaches your heart chakra. And then, once you've opened up the centers by moving that energy up a few times, then you're ready to take the object within your hands. And now it's time to take the object within your hands. And so for example purposes, I'm just going to use my bronzite bracelets here. And you simply gently hold the item within your hands while you're envisioning that energy moving up your spine to your heart chakra. And now with the item in hand, you're going to extend this energy to your object that is within your hands. And then back down to your base and up to your heart and back to the object and down to the base. It's kind of shaped like a D because you are going up your spine and then you're grabbing the energy of the object and dragging it back through your chakra centers. All right, so this is kind of what it'll look like energetically speaking as you are doing this little exercise. So what you're doing is you're taking your energy and you're mingling it with the energy of the object in your hands. Now that you have been pulling the object's energy into your being, you should begin to receive impressions, whether it's a thought, a word, an image, a feeling. It doesn't matter what it is, you just have to spew it out of your mouth. But do not add anything to it, because if you do, you will be wrong. So there, like for instance, let's say that as you're holding the object, you suddenly feel sick to your stomach. All you need to say is, I feel nauseous. You don't need to say you have been sick, meaning that the person who brought the object has been sick, because it's very likely that whatever you add to the impression, it's going to be wrong. Okay, so for example, from my own life experience, years ago, when I was practicing psychometry for the very first time, I had a friend give me a ring that he had been wearing. And so when I held the ring in my hand, I got this image of like marriage in my mind's eye. But I knew for a fact that my friend, he had never been married and he currently wasn't married. So it really didn't make sense to me. Now, in that instance, I should have just said marriage. But instead I said, are you married? And he said, no. But it turns out that I saw marriage as an image from that ring because he actually received it from his father, who is a very religious person. And the ring happened to be kind of like a gift for his chastity, so to speak. So it was almost like a promise ring that he could give to his future spouse, basically promising himself that he would save himself for his future spouse. So I found it very interesting that even though I knew my friend was not married, and as far as I knew, he had never been married, but the ring still gave me that impression of marriage. But it's because the ring was intended to be worn and then given to his future spouse. So after you have spoken exactly what impression you received without adding anything to it, then you simply pull your energy once again. So bring that energy through your chakras and then through the object once again. And then just continue to speak the impressions that come to you as you are pulling the energy from the object. In the end, you're going to know when the reading is over because the energy is going to fade and you're not going to be receiving any more impressions from the object. So when it is time to close out the session, then what I like to do is to see my energy once again and take it back down my spine, all the way down to rest at the base of my spine. And then I bring my attention from the soles of my feet and move all the way up to the crown of my head in my mind. And once I'm fully centered back within my body, I just inhale deeply and slowly open my eyes. And of course, after I am done with a psychometry session, it's important again to wash your hands just because, it kind of gets all that energy off of there. Wash and dry your hands once again to close it out. I just want to say once again how important it is to just say what you're receiving without adding anything to it. Because if I would have just said marriage to my friend who gave me the ring, it would have been more correct than me adding to it and saying, are you married? So it's going to be important to just say the impression. Do not add anything to it from your own thinking, because that will give you the most accurate reading when reading the object. And it's also very important not to judge the impressions that come, because when I for that same example, when I saw marriage as the image in my mind, I almost didn't want to say it, only because I knew my friend was not married and hadn't been married. But I had no idea that his father gave him that ring and that it was intended for his future spouse. Another thing that I want to mention about the object itself is that it might be a better idea to be sure that the object that you're reading has only been owned by the person that wants to be read. Because if you have an object that has been passed down through generations, for instance, it could actually, you could be picking up impressions not only from the current owner of the object, but you could also pick up the impressions from previous owners. Because some people simply have stronger energies than others. So, even though maybe a previous owner was a long time ago, but their energy could have been so potent that it still shines through the current owner's energy, if you know what I mean. So for the most accurate reading, it's important to make sure that whatever object you're reading, it really does belong to the person who wants the reading. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button for me. And if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on the notifications bell if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.